Which is a better strategy? Do you invest in houses or should you invest in apartments? Well, really, it depends on a number of factors. When we're purchasing a house, we're purchasing the entire building, the ground it sits on, and we are free to do what we want within that with that house, within certain controls in terms of what's possible. When we're purchasing an apartment, let's say it's an apartment block of 10 and you're purchasing the one on the 5th floor, what you have is the right to use that space and that apartment, let's say for 100 years. Let's say it's a 100-year lease. You don't own the land it sits on. In fact, you have to pay ground rent to the person who owns that freehold or the company that owns the freehold that the building sits on. And then you also have to pay a service charge for the upkeep of the grounds, the lift, the external clean, the windows, the insurance. So there's additional things to be aware of. Now, it's not that one is necessarily better than another. Let's say, for example, you're in London and you're restricted by how much you can spend, which most people are because you don't have an unlimited budget. You may only be able to afford to get into an apartment deal, whereas if it was possible, I would try and focus on getting into a house as a deal, because I just feel you have much more control over that building than you will in an apartment. But as I said, if you're in London, you might be limited where you've got high value property that you haven't enough funds or you don't have the means to be able to get into a freehold house, and you're left with an apartment opportunity. Whereas where we're based in the Midlands, it's very rare for me to be looking at a leasehold apartment, because we primarily would be focused on freehold buildings, i.e. a freehold house, or a freehold block of apartments, which would mean the entire block of 10. And that would mean we become the owner of the 10 apartments, plus the building and the land it sits on, which reality is not that different then from us purchasing a house. So I'd say ultimately what it comes down to, it's not whether a house is better than an apartment or an apartment is better than a house. It's whether a freehold gives you more flexibility versus a leasehold. Hey, if you're enjoying these Saj daily videos, then what I'd like you to do is click on my face over here to subscribe to the channel, and also click on the bell in order to get the notifications when these videos are being released. Then what to do next is click on this video here, and I'll see you over here on this video next.